Michael Keefer. Thank you, Mr. Keefer, for coming. You have 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor and councillors, for hearing me today. Let me introduce myself. I am a professor emeritus at the University of Guelph, former national president of the Association of Canadian College and University Teachers of English, and I have been an associate member of Independent Jewish Voices Canada since 2010. I have professional expertise that is of direct relevance to the question of charges of anti-Semitism and rebuttals of such charges. I am the editor and co-author of a book, Anti-Semitism, Real and Imagined, published in 2010, which received flattering comment from a number of reviewers. I won't repeat those comments here, but they're available to members of council in the text which I've provided. I'm also the author of several substantial scholarly articles, which I have listed as well on the final page of my presentation. Again, that's available to members of council. Now, I wish to begin by suggesting that the emphasis of this initiative on the part of the city on the Quds Day rallies is mistaken and potentially dangerous. It is so because this initiative risks diverting the attention and resources of law enforcement officials away from the very real threat posed to the safety of Torontonians by the hate-mongering exponents of far-right ideologies. And on my text, again, I have listed the appalling recent crimes committed by white males of neo-Nazi, incel, far-right-wing, neo-fascist, and so on persuasion. The March 2019 shooting of 50 people in Christchurch, New Zealand, the October 28th mass shooting at the Tree of Life Synagogue in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, 11 murdered, 7 wounded, the April 28th van attack in North Yonge Street, Toronto, 10 murdered, 13 wounded, the January 2017 mass shooting at the Islamic Cultural Center in Quebec City, 19 wounded, 6 murdered. The June 2015 mass shooting at Emmanuel African Methodist Episcopal Church in Charleston, South Carolina. Now, I mentioned as well in my document an event that didn't quite occur, but which was averted by the attentiveness of the Halifax police in early 2015 to precisely the danger that I am warning council of today. This was a plot by 3 well-armed far right-wing terrorists, 2 of them identifiable neo-Nazis, who intended to carry out a mass shooting in a Halifax shopping mall. And my question, to conclude that part of my presentation, is if the attention and resources of the Halifax police had been diverted into suppressing peaceful rallies by supporters of Palestinian rights, these terrorists might have managed to kill many people. Second issue I want to raise is my own personal experience of one Quds rally and 2 Quds Day dinners at which I was an invited speaker. And again, on the second page of my text, I go into some detail on this. What I would like to emphasize is that in these events, I heard detailed expositions of the manner in which members of the public can help to right the wrongs being visited upon the Palestinian population, both of Israel proper and of the occupied Palestinian territories, and can do so through community organization, through support for the boycott, divestment, and sanctions movement, and through the exertion of peaceful pressure on the State of Israel to conform to the requirements of international law, again, or in addition, urging our own government to fulfill its commitment as a signatory of the 4th Geneva Convention by ensuring that the terms of that convention are respected by all states. And I want to insist that at no point did I hear overtones of anti-Semitism, any suggestion that Jews as a people might be responsible for the wrongs committed by a state. What I heard instead were expressions of hope that people of conscience in many different communities, which, by the way, were represented in these events, Christians, atheists, Jewish activists in particular, that these people might be able to work together to bring justice and peace to all the people of Israel and Palestine.
I'll have to ask you to come to a conclusion shortly.
Am I out of time?
Well, it's 5:06, so if you could just have a couple of sentences.
I'm sorry, my hearing.
You're at 5:12, so a couple of sentences to wrap up would be great.
Okay.
5 minutes, yeah.
Yes, I'll just conclude to say that in my text, I also quote several paragraphs from, I think, a very important statement made in a letter to this council in November 2017 by Joseph Hickey, the executive director of the Ontario Civil Liberties Association, in which he commented on the unconstitutionality of the banning of Al-Quds Day events, and urged lawmakers to consistently and duly reject the bogeyman, in his words, of hate as a pretext to suppress the constitutional rights of citizens.
I think we'll have to call it there, just to be fair to the others. Thank you very much.